Hello guys, this is Pam with I-86 that. Okay. The title of this is Stop Picking Up Old Memories. Now, I know you guys heard me say it before where I don't backtrack, in which I don't. But when it comes to good friends and best friends or people that you think that you know or that you've known for a long time, you try to give those particular people the benefit of the doubt. So of course, I grew up a tomboy. I said that before, but I grew up a tomboy, and my thing is, even with doing that, I developed some relationships with a lot of guys or whatever where I knew they liked me, but I didn't like them because it wasn't even that type of party. But as you get older, then you start to, I guess, feel a little mushy for them or whatever. But in my case, I never did. My thing is, it's like my best friends, I love them to death, but it was not relationship type. They were just best friends. We thought about it and talked about it. It's like, oh no, we'll do better just being besties. And they say age has a lot to do with it. I say it does too, because like you still have a lot to learn. You have a lot to experience and go through in life. Before you can just really make that particular decision with a best friend. I'm just saying with a best friend saying that you really want to be with them now. My thing is, a lot of people, your best friend inside out, front and back, top to bottom, everything there is about your best friend. But that still doesn't mean that you know your best friend. But see, when I say know your best friend, I'm talking about mentally, or I'm talking about even spiritually, because you can know everything about that person, but at the same time you will not know them mentally, because like I said before, you cannot put anything past anybody. You take a chance on people, whether it's strangers, whether it's best friends. You take chances on people, but you still can't put anything past a person's mindset, because the mind, like a lot of people say, oh, your mind is the first to go. Yeah. And with that being said, a person's mind changes all the time. So you can think something today, and tomorrow you can have a totally different opinion on it, and have a strong, faithful opinion on it. Where you just know you're right. So, like I said, with that being said, you can know a person backwards and forward. From inside out, everything. I know this person like the back of my hand. Oh, okay. And then tomorrow, it's like you never met them, and you've known them for 20 years, or 25 years, or 30 years. And sometimes, that's how that is. I have, my one of my, I guess you could say, childhood friends, because since we don't currently talk, it's like a once a year thing with us. So now the title has changed. She's a childhood best friend, because we met when I was 5. We still communicate and have that particular relationship. There's another one, we were in diapers together, talking and playing, and goo goo gaga and everything in diapers together. She's 1 year younger than me, but yeah, since she was 1 and I was 2, you know what I'm saying, we have been, I guess you could say, diaper buddies, and then best friends. And then how you find out you're related down the line. You're like, oh well, you're my cousin, no wonder we clicked, no wonder we were best friends, blah blah blah. But she'll tell you in a heartbeat, well, this is my childhood best friend, this is my childhood best friend. So everyone has their particular labels and names and stuff like that. But I had told you guys before that I had 3 besties, guys. One, I told you I had known for 26 years, one for 19 years now, and the other one 14, what is this, yeah, 14 years. And we've had that, what you call the talk, where we felt that by the time we turned 40 years old, if we hadn't like either gotten married or haven't gotten married, or gotten married and got divorced or whatever, like if we're single, then yeah, we'll start back talking as far as like we'll see if we can make each other work, knowing that we're best friends and we know each everything about each other. So I was really considering that. And then, not the fact that you ain't got nobody, you lonely, you desperate, this and that. It has nothing to do with that. It's just one of those things where you just want to give it a try. You just want to be like, oh, okay, we're mature, we're grown, let's just give it a try. Let's see where it goes. You gave everybody else a try. Why not your best friend? But a lot of people say, oh no, you don't want to cross that line, because if it don't work, then now y'all not friends anymore. No, any mature adult, any mature man, any mature woman, if you say you're gonna try something, then it end up not working, then part ways, but at the same time, you can still be, you know, likable, talkable, sociable. You know, that still really shouldn't change anything. You know, but then again, it depends on how you split from, you know, trying to just try it. You know, but I know some people that tried that and it didn't work, and you know, they just started back just being friends. Was like, oh, okay, that didn't work next. You know, so I'm like, okay, so I said, well, you know, maybe I just make that promise, make that pact, and just give it a try. Now, one of the friends, you know, he ended up getting married, and I'm excited for him, very proud of him, very excited for him. And so, you know, of course, I respect the wife. So, you know, no, we was talking all the time, but like I told him, you know, you still need to respect your wife, you know, to the point where, you know, you shouldn't talk to me all the time. I may know everything, but your wife needs to know everything too, and the things that I know, she don't even know. So start talking to your wife, you know, tell your wife what you're telling me, you know what I'm saying? Because it should be easier to tell her because she's the wife, you know, she's the one you're going home to, she's the one you laying in the bed with. But that's a whole other story, because the killing part about it is, even though she's the wife, you married her for a reason, but you unhappy, you don't want to be with her, whatever. Like I said, told him, baby, stop wasting her time when she can go and be with somebody else that really want her or really deserves her, you know. And I told him he didn't deserve her because she was such a good lady. And I know you sitting here cheating on the lady and doing all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, like serious, dude, like for real. And I know she's a good lady, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I sort of X'd him out of the whole little equation of that after he, you know, got with her, got married and stuff like that or whatever. But, you know, knowing that he had been doing her like that, you know, I definitely wouldn't even trying to, you know, the 40-year pact with him. So 40-year-old pact with him. So no. But he's one of the ones where I say stop picking up old memories. He's one of the ones that I cut off as well, because like even with his story, he just found out he was a liar. So all those years that we were supposed to be friends and talking, and this, it's like 50% of what he said to me had been a lie. The other 50% had been truth. And like he's been doing things that I don't approve of. I told him as a friend, you know, stop doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's not good. Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. And now everything is sort of, you know, kicking him in the butt. You know, everything I had been telling him to not do, stop doing. And, you know, treat your wife right, and this and that. And, you know, just trying to be a good, moral human being. And, you know, now everything just starting to hit him back full force. So, you know, I just stepped back to just give him the time to be able to, you know, reevaluate himself and to calculate what he need to do as far as like in the future with his wife as an adult. Because, you know, with me being in the picture, that's going to interfere with what he needs to do and his decision on what he needs to do with his wife and the decision on himself. So as long as you have a person to talk to, or a crutch, or somebody to just go and whine to, as far as like a friend that you know, like me, that you've just been talking to all the time, then, you know, that's not going to do them any good. So sometimes you just need to step back and let people evaluate and be alone for a while so they can see what it is that they need to do. Because maturity for a lot of people don't even happen until they're by themselves, or until all the chips are down, or until they see that someone has, you know, left their side or done them wrong, and they have to just really be in this isolation box so they can see what side their bread was buttered on, or they can see that, you know, it was God that was keeping them through this or keeping them through that, or, you know, you made, you know, wrong decisions or right decisions, you know. So sometimes you just have to let some people go. And he was one of the ones that I actually let go. I'll explain his whole entire story later on, because it's so much more to that that's definitely in the book, you know, that I'm writing. But it's so much more to, you know, his particular story. But he's one of the ones that I let go. And you know, hopefully that little story will help you with him. But my other guy, him and I, we have been friends for 14 years. I met him after I had moved up here to Birmingham. You know, we discussed, oh, okay, well, yeah, let's see what we can do with being in a relationship. I think it lasted maybe 3 days, and we were like, nah, not gonna work. So we went ahead and just chalked that up to, you know, we didn't have sex or anything like that, but we went ahead and just chalked it up to, oh, okay, we tried, but we'll just leave everything like it is, and that's exactly what we've done. But he has really been a very, very great, now I mean great friend. And there's a lot of things that he did and helped me with in the time of need. But I feel that my season with him is over. God placed him there, you know, to be able to help me out at that particular time what was going on in my life. Now everything has sort of settled down, and he's not responding the way that I feel that he should respond as a best friend. Because, you know, either one knows that a best friend, just like a family member, you know, if you're sick, or, you know, you've had an operation, or, you know, the chips are down, or you need to borrow something, get something, it's like you have no never mind of me. It's like I don't exist. It's like you don't know me, and you know, I guess you could say, you know, he's not dating anyone. So just in case you're thinking, oh, well, maybe he had, no, he's not dating anyone. Even if he is, like I told him, you have enough sense to tell me, because I won't back off all the way if you are, because I don't like to interfere in stuff like that. Even though I may be a friend of yours, I'm not going to interfere in that. They do what you need to do or whatever. Call me when it's time for the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want no one saying, well, it's because of you that we didn't make it. No, baby, because I wasn't even in the picture. So when you see me at the wedding, you can just say, honey, I'm the BFF that, told him that you need to treat her right and do this and do that and spoil her, buy roses, blah, blah, blah. See, I'd be that friend. Not the one where I'm calling and talking to you all the time and every day and this is that, blah, blah, blah. Because I know when to back off. Yes, you may want to be able to do that when you're in a relationship with someone, but no, back off. No, because you don't want to be the blame for them not happening, or them not, being happy, or, them not being together, or them not, doing their happily ever after. But, even with him, he sort of, like I said, chips were down, in which in the past he has always been there for me when the chips were down, but at this particular point he wasn't. So I was able to sit back and evaluate that, and come to the conclusion that our relationship is just over, as far as like just us being friends. And of course we tried to revisit the fact that, maybe we need to go ahead and get married, because we've known each other for so long, and none of our other previous relationships had worked or whatever, blah blah blah. And just after sitting and thinking for like 5 minutes, we're like, no, we're gonna be at each other's throat, honey. We're gonna run around here like Wolverine and Freddy Krueger. No, baby, not gonna work. So I think after that particular conversation, he really, really backed off, because he was like, okay, well, since it's not gonna work, then I might as well not even, I'm trying to be there because we've had this 14-year relationship, but I wanted to talk to him about it. He still hasn't really reached out. But I don't want to just drop everything without just saying, hey, this is the reason why I put you on call block or we're not talking. I'm just waiting for him to, basically clear up, get his head together. And then when he do decide to want to, call and talk, then I just let him know, hey, I thank you for being a friend. Our relationship has run its course as far as like, you being the BFF. You've helped me in my time of need. Your season is up. I thank you for everything. If I'm able to help you in a few more years in the future or whatever, or if we pass crossways or whatever, I still know how to say, hey, how you doing? Everything going good, blah, blah, blah. But, other than that, it's just time to let that go, because at first I was getting mad about the fact that he wasn't there for me, 2 months ago in my time of need. But at the same time, I'm like, no, even though you're the BFL, you're not obligated. You get what I'm saying? And, you're pulling back, I'm pulling back, everybody's pulling back for a reason, and I feel that God's doing it for a particular reason. So, like I said, that season has passed, and a lot of times people don't understand when your season has, come and gone, and that's exactly what happened with him. So, season has come and gone. Don't get mad when a person, not there for you and don't help you, don't do this, don't do that, A, B, C, D, E, or G, because sometimes their season is just up, and sometimes it's just how it is, and it may end in a good way, it may end in a bad way, but, don't have any unforgiveness, don't be running around here acting crazy, and then you mad, and blah, blah, blah. No, you ain't got to do any of that. And, on the last story, now, this guy, oh my God, we have been friends for 26 years. Like I said, he is definitely, and I have been so on and off with him, it's ridiculous. He were actually using me as a crutch, because anytime he had problems in the relationship and the marriage, because I do counseling as well too. So anytime he had a problem, he would always run to me and talk to me and all that, but it's not doing you any good just you talking to me if she's not talking to me to get her in, of what she need to do as well in the marriage too, because you can go back and tell her, well, I said A, B, C, D, E, or G, or the counselor said A, B, C, D, E, or G, and she's not going to want to do it because she didn't hear it for herself. She didn't get the information for herself. She got the information from you. So now she thinks that you giving her that information, meaning the spouse, but you giving her that information, she's thinking that now you're just trying to tell her what to do. You're trying to run over her and this and that, so, like I said, I had to battle a whole entire 26 years of up and down, on and off, doing this and doing that or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so he was the one that I told my, girlfriend in Arizona. I'm like, well, yeah. I said, well, if I was to really consider marrying anybody and doing my pay when we turn 40 pack, because him and I are just a few months apart, I'm like, it will definitely be him. And here it is. The thing about it is, I actually thought that, I was going to be able to do that with him. And, him and his wife had split, and I'm like, okay, y'all gave it a whirl. Y'all been married for over 17 and a half years. Y'all, tried your best and blah, blah, blah. And, she said on multiple occasions, and she left him 3 times, like within a few months, and was like, okay, I can't do it. I don't want to, do it. I don't want the counseling, and, I don't want to be your wife, blah, blah, blah. This is that, baby. She didn't got her another man and everything, and started talking to the other guy. She didn't jumped up and moved to another state, so of course that was very devastating for him, because he has the two children, you know. So he's a family man. He takes care of his kids. So he was like, yeah, you can go all day long, but you're not going to take the kids. In which it was never her intention to take the kids anyway. She didn't want her own children. You know, she told her kids that she didn't want her kids and she didn't want to be a mother anymore. So that was totally horrible. And the baby had to hear her actually say that. So now, you know, he's hating his mom for that. It's just a whole big old crazy mess. But anyway, him and I had decided to try it. And so I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna pick up this old memory. We're gonna see where it's gonna lead because I can't go wrong. You know, this being a 26-year BFF, blah blah blah. You know, this should be totally perfect. You know, and I told him, you know, what you need to do is go ahead and get your divorce papers. You're not even gonna date me without having those papers because I don't feel that that's right for you to, you know, y'all may be separated, but you're not divorced. You know, let me see some papers and let everything be legit. You know, because if you want to get into the next relationship, you know, you want that to be as you know, prosperous as possible. You know, you don't want any type of karma coming back hitting you in the face. You know, for you being with somebody else or sleeping with somebody else and, you know, you still married. Because, yes, you're still legally married to that person. So, you know, I was telling him, you know, go ahead and, you know, get your papers together, do this, do that, you know, and then we can start dating. You can start coming down here, you know, see me, visit me, and this and that. You know, once the baby graduates from school, you can go ahead and move down here. Basically, you know, we had already transferred both of your jobs. I mean, you know, we had already had everything basically laid out. But, the thing about it was he didn't like the terms, in which the term was for him to have the divorce papers and then start dating me. So like I told him, so we can do it the correct way, because like I said, karma is the BITCA, karma is So he didn't want to do that, and he decided, well, actually, you know, we were still, you know, talking on the phone or whatever. We were trying to get all that mapped out, but you were supposed to have dedicated yourself basically to, I guess, the project of him and I being together, or the prospect of him and I being together. And this is what we had put set in stone that we were going to do. And 2 weeks after the fact that you felt that you couldn't deal with the fact of, oh, you have to have the divorce papers and this and that and blah blah blah, then you decided to start dating somebody else. So now you've been talking to this girl, dating this girl, in which you still talking to me over the phone. But, you know, like I said, even though we had our stuff set in stone, we were not a couple. You know, like I told him, we're not giving each other that title until after you show me the papers, you know, because we already had everything A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like I said, when you two grown people, you know how to, you know, set everything the way that you want to set everything. So he started with this chick, dating this chick, sleeping with her and all this other stuff, whatever. And he's unhappy, she's unhappy. You're only doing this because you're trying to pass the time. And I'm saying to myself, like, wow, okay, so you just tossed everything that we talked about to the side just because you couldn't wait, just because you were impatient. And I'm like, wow, so what does this really say about our relationship? You know, but even though I know he admitted that he was using me as a crutch, as far as like, you know, every time he was sad or down or out, or, you know, something happened in the relationship, this is that, he always called me because it made him feel better. So he was like, I always lean and depend on you for that pick me up, for that conversation, for that, for that. And I told him, I said, well, no, I said, that's just being the best friend. That's just what, you know, friends are for. Because I always encouraged him to talk to his wife, go back to his wife, treat your wife right, you know, do this, do that, spoil her, date night, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, he followed all those advices and stuff like that. But she was cheating. But the killing part about it was the only reason why she was cheating, because at the beginning of the marriage, he was cheating and he ended up having an outside baby, you know, while being married to her. So that sort of threw everything off from the beginning. So she never trusted him from the beginning of the marriage, after finding out that it's a few months after y'all had got married, you had cheated and you had got this chick pregnant. But you didn't find out about the baby until I think maybe like right after the wife had her first baby by him. So it's like the kids are a year apart, but, you know, it's like still that's very messy. So she's with you out of obligation, and, you know, you want her to be faithful, but she's only with you out of obligation because you know, had been cheating several times, you know, before she really had found out. And then having a baby, knowing that you're married, I mean, that can destroy a person's, you know, feelings, ego, mindset, everything. And you want her to be faithful to you for, you know, the whole 17 and a half years that you guys were together, when you wasn't at the beginning, you know, for the whole first year you were not. So that sort of changed her mindset about a lot of different things. So with that being said, you know, like I said, I had to 26-year friendship. I just went ahead and just, you know, I got rid of it. I, you know, told him I was there for you for a season because, you know, you need to pick me up and this and that and blah blah blah. Because even with us being friends, there was nothing that he did for me that I can say return the favor of everything that I did for him. So yes, it was more like crutch using me. But I felt that we were, you know, that was me trying to, you know, be there for you and me trying to be a friend. So actually, I was a BFF to him, but, you know, he was just using me the whole entire time. But like I said, that was a lesson learned. That's something that I know I would never do again. You know, as far as like saying, I tell you what, we gonna get married if both of us are single at the age of 40, whatever, blah blah blah. Because like I said, his mindset changed after 2 weeks. You went ahead and went on about your business, did whatever you want to do. So if you knew that, and what you claim you love me or been in love with me, and you don't want to marry me, you should have been marrying me from the beginning, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, baby, you ain't doing nothing but blowing smoke, because if that was the case, then you would have waited, but you didn't. So like I said, even though the opportunity came around the second time, so the first time, no, second time opportunity came around, you should have taken advantage of the opportunity. But see, a lot of people don't take advantage of the opportunity on the second go round. But that's basically my advice. Like I said, stop picking up old memories. When it's over, it's over. If it's a friendship where it's a one-sided friendship, that's not a friendship. That's one person being a friend, and that's another person being a user. Simple as that. So don't waste your time at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you go ahead and because you have to think about yourself, you have to think about your mindset, you have to think about what you're going to do from this point on. So if they were not as good of a friend to you as you were to them, then like I said, go ahead and 86 that, leave that alone. Say your goodbyes, say your thank yous and congratulations and all that. But just to save face, don't pick that back up. Just leave that alone, because like I said, everybody's a season, time, a reason. Like I said, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. We don't know what the season and the time is. God does, but He gives us clues and stuff. When it's time to end, He gives us clues. And I have gotten clues from all 3 of my so-called men friends, and I am very excited just knowing that I don't have to. I don't see them, call them, talk to them. It's like that's like a weight lifted off my shoulder, because like I said, it was pretty much for the most part like one-sided friendships with me and them. Everything started off good at first, but it ended up being a one-sided relationship, one-sided friendship. So like I said, that was my advice. I thank you guys for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have any comments, put them down at the bottom. I love you guys. Peace.